Welcome back, folks, to Ratchet and Clank, the game based on the movie, based on the game. Because I'm a kleptomaniac, I needed that one lonely bolt at the corner of the room.
The game,
You gotta get every bolt. You have to break every box. I understand. They're just so tantalizing. They go into you in like a good way.
There's a lot of slide.
They're just so satisfying when you collect them.
They're extremely satisfying. Will, when you got the chance, did you change them into rings?
Wait, can you do that?
Yeah, man, it's one of the bonus things. So like, you unlock a bunch of bonus stuff. The more gold bolts you get, and one of those things is that you can change. They're not called rings; they call them like gold discs or like something like that. You can change them into like Mario coins. You can change them into rings.
Man, I love Insomniac.
And they have like the sound effect changes also.
Oh, do they? So it's like a variant on like the ring sound effect or like the coin sound effect. That's amazing.
It's pretty hilarious.
I love Insomniac. Like they're just such great developers. I'm actually watching a Let's Play on another channel, Brain Scratch up there of Spyro 2, and like it's just, if there's one thing I can really appreciate about Insomniac, it's that they really put a lot of work into their worlds. And like in the Spyro series, it really shows because, you know, each level, like there were so many levels and so many like very, very different like worlds. So like in one game, you're visiting a ton of different realms. In Ratchet and Clank, like, you know, maybe not to the same extent, but you know, you've got very different looking planets. Like I can, for the most part, I can tell like, you know, a planet from a planet pretty easily in the main games.
This is a really good-looking game too. Like, just they really added in a lot of movement, sort of in the background going on. Like, you know, this level's got like ships flying everywhere, and just like little things like that. You know, these like smoking planets, and there's just like a lot of movement and a lot of detail in this game. I think specifically, where they're really. It feels like they're really pushing that PS4 power.
I'm more excited by like just the fidelity of a lot of the animations I'm looking at.
Yeah. It's a really good looking game. I still have a thing in me that's like, man, Ratchet and Clank games should always be 60 frames per second. But you know, aside from that, this is a hell of a good looking game.
Yeah, they're you know, it's funny, we're talking about like Insomniac is pretty all their games are pretty prone to some really bad glitches. Like, my God, we're gonna see a few in this playthrough, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of them I think was, if I remember correctly, one of them is nigh groundbreaking, or at least level breaking. I think I had to reset something, but I think one other glitch actually like helped me skip a part of a level, which I appreciated. So yeah, but Insomniac games for some reason have just always had. I mean, I remember Spyro. There is this one glitch that a lot of people have encountered, but if you're like underwater and like squeeze your way through a wall, you can like fly. You can be flying like in the sky, but it's as if Spyro is still underwater, which is weird.
Look, let me tell you this.
I vaguely remember something like that.
It's a very common glitch in the Spyro series.
So I work as a QA person at a video game studio, and let me tell you, bugs are hard, and sometimes, a lot of the time, you know a bug is there, but you're like, you know what? If people discover this, it's not a huge deal. Like, your goal when you're developing a video game is never to not have any bugs. Your goal is to deal with the bugs that are like really important, and then
hide with the ones that are still there.
Sorry?
Yeah, deal with the ones that are important and then hide the ones that are still there.
It's not even about hiding them, it's like they are already hidden by way of like, hey, this is not important because it is hidden, and because like most people aren't going to find it, and it's not game breaking, and it doesn't negatively affect the experience in like a really major way.
Some trivia for the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3DS version. They actually fixed a lot of the bugs in that game when they ported it to the 3DS, and then in testing, when they gave people to play it, they complained because the bugs that they used to love exploiting back on the N64 weren't able to do them in the 3DS version. So the developers actually went back and reprogrammed the bugs into the game so that people could have that authentic experience.
Yeah, I heard about that. And I thought that was so stupid. Like,
Oh, what?
well, no, like I understand, like people like some people like bugs, especially like speedrunners, but I'm just like, come on, guys, like what the hell? Like the reason why they remastered it is so that they could just like sort of make it look better and then fix some of the issues, and it's like, why are you keeping all the bugs in?
Oh, look, like maybe
you can
for
make
like
an argument at a certain
speedrunning.
point.
Sorry, go on, Dan.
I think you can make an argument at a certain point that, like, to an extent, sometimes, depending on the bug, a game's bugs can actually be like a big part of its identity in a weird way. I feel like a lot of Nintendo games, like really old school Nintendo games, are like this, and just like old school games in general, where it's like the bugs are just like, I don't have any specific examples I can think of. But I feel like those are things where it's like, yeah, if you're trying to recreate this experience, maybe this bug is actually a kind of a cool thing to have in the game. I don't know.
I've got more.
I don't get it.
I've got more thoughts on bugs, but I just love this like sequence here when Skidman Marks is going through like all the people who support him, and then he talks about his sponsors, and they're just like these old like retired aliens that just look so like depressed about everything. I think that's
We
just
talk
like,
about how this guy's name is fucking Skid Marks. It's a thing that I've always thought about since I was a kid, and been like, I mean, whatever. This is classic Insomniac, like, scatological humor.
oh,
you know.
the things, hey, what? Like, I think they wanted to originally name, what was it? All for One, Ratchet and Clank All for One. They wanted to call it Foreplay.
Great. Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's like in their naming convention scheme, sure.
They didn't get away with that one.
Oh, really? I thought they would.
Yeah, I mean, they got away with things like a Quest for Booty, Up Your Arsenal and stuff like that. But like even before then, I think like the actual names they wanted to name some of their games were way worse. And by worse, I mean so much better.
Well, I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. I don't need a rat. I can drop that from Ratchet
what
and
just
Clank at
happened?
this point.
Oh, Captain. Okay, so this game is being narrated by Captain Quark, and like he's trying to find ways to make it more exciting. So at this point, he's like, and then they were about to get eaten by like a giant dinosaur, and then
Wait. So this is the game based on the movie, based on the game as told by one of the side characters.
Look, it's very meta.
Yes.
For all the wrong reasons.
I mean, you might have not seen this, Jordan, but when that plumber just walked away, he said, "See you in the next reboot."
I'd be down. I mean, the joke aside, I'd be down for another like what was the second game? Going Commando? Like, I would not mind a remake of that game in this style.
It's weird because I think this game is the one that I actually remember the most about. I feel like it's the one I probably replayed the most. Or rather, like the original Ratchet and Clank was. And so, like, I don't actually remember that much about Going Commando and Up Your Arsenal, other than that I like them a whole lot. So, like, I don't necessarily need, like, a planet-by-planet remake of those games. Like, I feel like you can just give me some new Ratchet and Clank games, and I'd be totally happy with that.